Hello guys, welcome to your 12th lesson in this VueJS course. And in this lesson, we are going to be looking at data binding in VueJS. Okay, before we write any code, I first want to explain what exactly data binding is. So what is data binding exactly? Now, data binding when it comes to computer programming generally is basically a way of passing data from a data provider, okay, to a data consumer and synchronizing that data together between the provider and the consumer. So let's say, for example, okay, we have a data coming at a particular place in at the particular part in the application, and there's a particular place where we want to implement the data. It's a way of making sure that okay, this data they are actually well synchronized, and that whenever the value maybe changes at the provider, that it also reflects at the consumer. So that's basically the concept of data binding. All right, so let's basically return some data here. So I'm just going to say right here in our root app, and then we want to return something. Okay, the first thing I want to return is, let's just return basically a particular data. So I'm going to say name maestro. Okay, already let's use live tech facts. And then another thing is we want to return the URL, okay, which is HTTPS, and then we are going to have the livetechfacts.com. All right, so this is the name, and then we have the URL right here, and this is basically what we're returning. All right, so we've learned how to be able to output that dynamic value out. Okay, so basically to display this particular data that we returned, we can basically do something like this, and we can say name. Okay, let's save that and let's come to our app. And we can see right here it's displayed welcome to live tech facts. Okay, let me actually kind of do this so that we're able to see that very well. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to add a class of let's see, let me add a class of p10, and then flex, and let's put it to the center, and then also another thing, justify center. So let's save that, and we should have something that looks a bit better. Okay, we have it right here in the middle. Welcome to live tech facts. And I think I also want to add a bit of class to this, and I'm going to say, let's see, and then that should increase the font size a bit. Okay, so we have it right here. Welcome to live tech facts. So that means automatically, if let's say the value changes and I should change it to, or let's kind of do that dynamically. So I'm going to have a button here, and it's going to say change value or change name. Okay, so we are basically now going to return to have a method. Okay, and then the method is going to have something such as, okay, change. Okay, there's an L. Did I make a mistake? All right. Okay, that should be right here. Okay, so we're going to have method. Okay, and then the method is going to say something such as change name, and then it's basically going to say this dot name equals to, and then maestro. All right, and then okay, how about we do something such as if. So let's just do an if statement. If this dot name, okay, and then let's say to lowercase, is equals to, then we're going to say live tech facts. Then it should toggle this and change this to, then this dot name is going to be equals to maestro, or if not, then, oh sorry, then this dot name should be equals to live tech facts. All right, so we can come here and then we can just do, okay, use our event at click, and then we can say something like change name. and then let's save that and let's come back here. Okay, we should have a button here, and I think I want this to come um to be flex column, and then I want to add a bit of gap. So let's add a bit of gap, a bit of spacing, and then this, let's at least make it look a tad bit better. And I'm going to say class is going to be equals to bg green, and then we're going to have 500 texts white, and then let's add a bit of padding and a white too. Okay, and then rounded, yeah, and then let's put over, and then we want something of bg green, and then 600 should be okay. So I think this should work fine, and then let's save and let's see what we have here. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so the rounded property is not being added. Okay, I didn't type that right, and then we have this, which is fine and well. So let's see if we should click on this change to maestro, and then if not, if it's not maestro, then it's going to change to live text fact. Okay, so we can see toggling this. So this is an example of how we can actually output data. But what if we want something a bit more dynamic? Let's say, for example, we have this URL here and I have a link. Okay, so I'm going to say have a link right here, and then I want it to actually be equals to this value we are right here inside of our data. So let's see, let's try something like URL. Does it work? And then we're going to say my link. Okay, let's see that. Okay, let's over on it, and we can see that is not what we want. That is not what we want outputted. So how do we do this? Okay, let's try another method, and let's try the same way we outputted it here, and then let's save. Will that work? No, we are not seeing that. So how are we actually going to achieve this? Now we do this using data binding. Now the easy way we can just do that is we can do something like, okay, v, and then we can say bind, and then we can do this. So now, instead of outputting this in curly braces, we can just use our URL. Okay, so now automatically Vue recognizes that we are trying to bind this particular attribute to this particular data we have here. So it automatically takes care of that and bind them together. So let's come back and let's see. Let's preview our link, and we can see it actually rendered live text fact. Okay, what if we then change this particular link? So let's create another button with another functionality. So we can say change link. So for this, instead I'm going to use another color. Let's use orange. Okay, so we're basically going to do that, and then I'm going to duplicate this method we have right here, and then I'm going to say change link. Okay, so I'm just going to do something simple. This dot link equals to let's say google.com. Okay, so we're just going to say https and then google.com. Okay, so let's save that and let's see if that is actually going to get updated right here inside of our link that we just bind it. Okay, so we have the link here. If we over on it, we can see it's the livetechfact.com. Then what if I click on this and let's see? Okay, we haven't changed it here. Let's update it. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and then I'm just going to paste it here, change link. Okay, so let's bring out our console also to help us and preview that. So I'm going to right click on this and then I want to inspect. Okay, so we can see the attribute right now is the livetechfact.com. So if I should click on change link, okay, we are not seeing anything happening. Okay, so let's see, let's try and do something. We are going to say console.log these dots. Oh, see the error made. We are trying to change this dot link, but it does not exist right here inside of this data or the values we are returning. Okay, so this is supposed to be URL. So let's save that and let's come back here. Okay, so my inspector, and then I'm going to inspect this. All right, so let's click on change link. We can see that changed and got updated. All right, another thing I want to note is, you see, Vue actually gives us a way to do things in shorthand method. Remember earlier when we were doing this at click, we could do something such as, okay, instead of this we can say v and then hyphen bind, and then we can say on click. Okay, and we can do this. Yeah, we can do that, but we can just use a shorthand method of at click. Also, when it comes to binding, we can just do something such as this. Just add a column in front. Automatically this should still work the same way. Okay, let's come here and we should still see that work. And then when we click on this, okay, change to google.com, that also works. So this is more of like a shorthand property. So you can use data binding in many ways. Okay, one of the thing is, let's have an input field right here. Okay, so I'm going to have an input field here, and what I'm basically going to do is, let me just give it a class of let's say text to Excel, and then I'm going to say p5 border, and then okay, let's see how that looks like. Okay, so this is our input field right here. So basically, we can do something and say value equals to let's say something, and let's see, we can see it's default right here. We can actually bind this. Okay, so let's say value is going to be equal to name, this name we have here. So let's save that, and then we can see right here live text file. What if I click on this change name? You see that also got updated. So we can see how that actually works. We can use that to bind with any HTML element or any of our components. So that's essentially the crux of data binding. And in the next lesson, we're going to be looking at class and style bindings.